You are watching KAVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman.
And I'm Trenton Whiting.
Today, just a half hour after midnight, VPD responded to a shooting on Port Lavaca Drive that left 2 men injured. Officers arrived to a business on the 2600 block where they found a 45-year-old man and a 49-year-old man, both with gunshot wounds. Police say a single bullet caused the injuries in both men. They were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, one by emergency services and another in a private vehicle. Now, authorities say that no arrests have been made, but they ask residents to call the Crime Stoppers line at 361-572-4200 with any information on this incident.
Today, we remember the devastating events of one of the deadliest school shootings in Texas history at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. 3 years ago today, 19 students and 2 teachers were shot and killed by 18-year-old Uvalde High School student Salvador Ramos, just days after he purchased 2 assault rifles. Authorities eventually broke their way into the school and killed Ramos, but the fallout has continued to this day, 3 years later. Murals, candlelight vigils, and ceremonies to remember that sad day are still occurring. And the fallout has also continued into the courtroom as the former Uvalde CISD police chief Pete Arredondo and school officer Adrian Gonzalez are the only 2 members of law enforcement to face charges connected to the shooting. But today is about remembering the victims and the community that is still reeling after this event. And that'll lead us to our viewer poll for the night, which 3 years after the Uvalde school shooting, what should be the top safety priority? More school security, stricter gun laws, better police training, or more parent involvement? And taking a lead over the other options are stricter gun laws and more school security. This is obviously something that should be taken very seriously, but we want to continue to hear your opinion on this. So please come to our viewer poll, our website at crossroadstoday.com.
Yes, now let's go to Jacob Lozano with the first look at our forecast. Jacob, how would our weekend and Memorial be looking?
Well, Amaya, it's going to be a bit warm, windy, and humid for us here, but we did have a little surprise of a little shower that popped up in our northern county of Victoria, as well as our northeastern part of the coastline. But here's that stalled front line, and we have a dry line right there that's been popping up showers and thunderstorms, and that little stalled front has actually caused some issues there in Mississippi. But we're going to be talking about that front line moving down because of this low pressure system for us. But currently right now, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies starting to pile in, but southeasterly winds at 10 miles per hour and 79 degrees with the humidity rising up. And we'll be talking about possibly some fog as well as the rain chances coming up. Maya?
Thank you so much, Jacob. A powerful storm swept across the central part of the United States just as the Memorial Day holiday weekend got underway, one of the hardest hit areas in the Springfield, Missouri. The storm packed quite a punch, heavy downpours triggering flooding in some areas. The storm washed out some roads and first responders had to rescue a number of people trapped in the rising waters. The rain combined with strong winds knocked out power to thousands of people on Saturday. The storm uprooted trees and brought down power lines. Repair crews are working to get the power back on, but it may take a couple more days before it is fully restored.
Tonight, new details in that bold jailbreak in New Orleans. A new report says the inmates used hair clippers with multiple blades to cut through their cell walls.
And tonight, the search continues for the 5 still on the run. Here's ABC's Phil Lipoff.
Tonight, we are learning how authorities think 10 inmates in a New Orleans jail, several of whom were facing second-degree murder charges, were able to escape and remain undetected for hours. Surveillance video showing the men shoving a door and running off in the dead of night. And authorities now say they had help.
At 1 a.m., they were observed on camera exiting our facility using an adjacent loading dock door.
In addition to the 6 people who have been arrested for allegedly helping the prisoners to escape and evade capture, authorities accuse another inmate, Trayvon Williams, of providing shirts and towels to the escapees to help them get through the jail's razor wire. And authorities say they used hair clippers with multiple blades to cut through a cell wall, according to CNN. Problems at the jail date back decades. The Justice Department warning in 2012, conditions at the Orleans Parish Prison have been dangerous and unacceptable for far too long. The Orleans sheriff, who initially deflected blame for the escape, now says she takes full responsibility, but says she needs millions to fix outdated surveillance, aging infrastructure, blind spots in supervision, and critical staffing shortages. Authorities say they're confident the remaining 5 escapees will in fact be caught, all of whom are charged with second-degree murder. Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
A key member of a Mexican drug cartel who had a bounty over his head in the U.S. has died. Authorities say Jorge Humberto Figueroa Benitez was killed during a Mexican government operation to capture him. The U.S. says Figueroa Benitez was a key member of the Los Chapitos criminal organization, a faction of the Sinaloa cartel, said to be a major supplier of fentanyl into the United States. The U.S. government offered a reward of up to $1 million for his capture. The man, known as El Perez, faced a host of charges, including drug trafficking, money laundering, and weapons possession.
Now to the search for answers in the deadly plane crash in San Diego. That's also caused 100 families in the neighborhood to be evacuated.
Yes, here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee on the scene with the latest.
This morning, horrific new doorbell video showing the moment a plane clipped power lines and slammed into a San Diego neighborhood, erupting into a fireball. The investigation now intensifying. Officials saying all 6 people on board the Cessna 550 were killed. Investigators discovering 2 systems were not functioning at the airport as the plane was about to land. The weather reporting system that would have given the pilot landing conditions and the lights that would have illuminated the runway.
It affects the pilot's decision-making, not the pilot's performance in the airplane.
In his final transmission, the pilot saying he was going to try to land despite dense fog.
All right, that doesn't sound great, but we'll give it a go.
The plane en route from Teterboro, New Jersey. Well-known music agent Dave Shapiro owned the plane and died in the crash. His agency, Sound Talent Group, now identifying the 2 other employees killed on board. 25-year-old Emma Hook and 24-year-old Kendall Fortner.
You can see investigators here documenting the pieces of the plane. They say they hope to remove the wreckage by the end of the weekend.
Harrowing stories of survival are emerging after flames and jet fuel spewed across one of the largest military housing communities in the world.
Come on, let's go! Let's go! Go!
Gilbert Gonzalez hoisting a ladder over a neighbor's fence to help them get to safety.
Climb the ladder! Climb the ladder!
We owe all 6 of our lives to him right now.
How does it feel today to look at the damage and to know that you guys helped save people yesterday?
I mean, it's insane to look at, but it's not just us. You know, it's a collective community. Everyone was springing into action.
Once investigators clear the scene, the plane wreckage will be moved to a secure location where then those parts will be laid out. We are expecting a preliminary report from the NTSB within the next 30 days. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, San Diego.
A tourist from Italy was held captive and tortured for weeks inside a Manhattan home before escaping Friday and getting help, leading to the arrest of his alleged kidnapper. Police say the 28-year-old met 35-year-old John Waltz on May 6th. Waltz allegedly took him to a rental, took his passport, and held him there. At first, investigators thought it was a case of sexual torture, but now believe it was some sort of financial dispute. The victim eventually ran into a traffic agent who called police. When officers searched the home, they reportedly found photos of the victim tied up, a gun, and torture tools.
So the police arrived, well, they were here, and we were setting up, and they brought this guy out in a bathrobe he was handcuffed. They put him in a car right there. That's all we saw. And then more cops arrived.
A person in a bathrobe?
Yeah.
Did that person look disturbed or agitated?
No, he looked healthy. He looked like he just stepped out of the shower. He didn't have any shoes on. He was barefoot.
And taken into custody?
Put into the police
At least
car,
he was handcuffed.
He was handcuffs behind his back.
Waltz, a well-known crypto trader from Kentucky, is now facing several serious charges, including kidnapping and assault.
Now, graduation season is here. Whether they're stepping into careers, continuing their education, or chasing big dreams, we're cheering our area grads on every step of the way. Congratulations to Jada from Hope High School. The message says, "Congratulations, Jada, you did it. I'm so proud of you. We'll all know you will do great things in life. Love you from your mom, your sister, Allie, and family."
And congratulations to Julie from Cuero High School. The message says, so proud and excited for your next chapter. We love you.
And congratulations to Matthew from Cuero High School. The message says, we're so proud of you. We love you to the moon and back, from Mom and Dad.
And congratulations to Michaela from Victoria West High School. The message says, congratulations, Michaela. We are so proud of all your accomplishments. Can't wait to see what this next chapter in life holds for you. Love you always, from Mom, Dad, and Littles.
Congratulations to the class of 2025. The Texas House gave preliminary approval Saturday to a bill that will grant political appointees unprecedented oversight of the state's public university. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website at crossroadstoday.com.
And for more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Estrana and Parker Cox will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a military hero so we can recognize them.
President Trump takes the stage at West Point graduation while escalating his global trade war with new tariffs, including one aimed at a major U.S. company. Coming up.
Well, temperatures were hot and humid today. We got to 93 degrees, but a little bit down on the rain, but we'll be talking about the rain coming up in the weather.
Welcome back. President Trump delivering the commencement address to West Point graduations on Saturday as his global trade war heats up.
The president proposing a 50% tariff on European goods that would go into effect next week. And he's also targeting an American company with tariffs for the first time. Here's ABC's Dave Packer with the latest.
Memorial Day is traditionally a great day to take advantage of retail sales, but amid President Trump's tariffs, consumers are already seeing higher prices on some items. The Department of Labor reports prices for furniture and bedding rose more than 7 times faster than overall prices in April. Some major retailers bracing for tough times. Earlier this month, Walmart announced it will raise prices due to higher costs caused by tariffs as it prepares to lay off some 1,500 employees. Nike says it's planning on price increases starting next week. Target says it's hoping it won't have to raise prices, but has already slashed its annual outlook due to the unexpected impact of tariffs and heightened uncertainty. This as President Trump reignites his trade war with Europe, announcing a 50% tariff on European Union products beginning June 1st. The president saying talks between the U.S. and EU are going nowhere.
It's time that we play the game the way I know how to play the game.
The EU's trade commissioner urging that trade with the U.S. must be guided by mutual respect, not threats, and that it stands ready to defend its interests. The president also targeting an American company for the first time. Tech giant Apple could face a 25% tariff by the end of June if it doesn't move all of its iPhone production to the U.S.
When they build their plant here, there's no tariff.
Experts say moving production of the iPhone entirely to the U.S. would cost tens of billions of dollars. By one estimate, manufacturing iPhones in the U.S. could nearly triple its cost, up to roughly $3,500 per phone.
It's still much more economical. It's faster for them to make changes to the product just because they have the infrastructure in place already and we do not.
The president has said tariffs on other tech companies like Samsung could follow. Dave Packer, ABC News, New York.
Journalists covering the U.S. military are raising concerns after Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced new press restrictions at the Pentagon. Starting Friday, key areas of the building are off limits to reporters unless they have an official escort. Hegseth says it is about national security, but the Pentagon Press Association calls it a direct attack on press freedom and says it will make it harder to reach officials or do their jobs effectively.
At West Point's commencement today, President Donald Trump told cadets they're all winners. Trump said they're becoming officers in the most powerful army the world has ever known, and he took credit for that, saying he rebuilt it during his first term. He also referred to his administration's crackdown on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, saying our troops have been liberated from divisive and demeaning political training. He says the military's focus needs to be on crushing America's enemies.
Every cadet on the field before me should savor this morning, because this is a day that you will never, ever forget. In a few moments, you'll become graduates of the most elite and storied military academy in human history, and you will become officers in the greatest and most powerful army the world has ever known. And I know because I rebuilt that army, and I rebuilt the military.
Now, Sunday marks 5 years since the police murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. His death sparked worldwide protests and movements for racial justice.
A man who tends the garden at the intersection where he was murdered hopes something good can grow from painful memories. Reg Chapman has more.
This is our response. Beauty for ashes.
Out of the ashes of the uprising after the murder of George Floyd, this garden in the intersection of 38th and Chicago stands.
Sometimes you do things and it's revealed to you later. You just got to step out in faith.
Jay Webb decided a garden was needed.
This is for everyone that's ever fallen to injustice.
And for 5 years, he has tilled this land.
My intention was that they will never, ever be able to pass here without remembering.
Not as a job, but a calling.
Underneath this garden is written the words peace, love, charity, prosperity. That which is seen comes from that which is unseen.
He has witnessed people come to this plot of soil from far and near. Webb believes the flowers, plants, and signs empowers them to do better.
Our friend now, Dave Chappelle, we planted with, and the purpose of planting for everyone who's planted, whether it was from Czechoslovakia or South Africa or Uzbekistan, is invite them, and they would stand in the gap for all their country and for all their family, their ancestors, and they would take it in authority. They would dig out this and they put a plant in there to replace. That was the old. That's what the prayer was.
Digging out what is bad and replacing it with what is good. For 5 years, this has been Webb's vision. And when asked, what has changed?
Belief, reverence, respect.
Respect for the fallen and belief that we will move forward together, stronger than ever.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
Well, the severe weather outlook for Monday is looking like marginal risk well north of us of I-10, but still may see a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. We'll be talking about that coming up after the break. was another hot and humid day for us here in the Crossroads. We had a little bit of showers there in the late morning time, but we're starting to see that cloud deck start to move over as that humidity is starting to rise. But wind's going to be a big conversation as we go on through the weekend with southeasterly winds really picking up. But there's that dry line that's picking up a couple showers and thunderstorms, but we have a stalled front right there. We're going to be looking at that low to kind of push everything down and kind of help bring that frontal system down here for us. And that'll be bringing us our rain chances. But right now, we're starting to see that cloud cover begin to build, 79 degrees, 90% humidity. May see some fog here in the morning time, but the southeasterly winds have calmed down just a little bit. Those are going to be ramping right back up again here tomorrow. 93 degrees was our high. It felt like 103 today. That's going to continue going on as we see those humidity values continue to increase, but we are lacking the rain. And the rain is what we're going to be continuing to see. But the heat index for those next 5 days still be in the triple digits. It's going to feel like 103 here tomorrow. It'll feel like 102 for your Memorial Day, but still feeling like in the hundreds as we go on into Wednesday. Now the winds are going to be picking up here. Like I mentioned, 8 a.m. we've got 15-mile-per-hour winds, and it'll can just be persistent here as we go on through 2 p.m. Get about 16 to 20-mile-per-hour winds along the Texas coastline here for the Sunday evening time frame. Those will die down once again here, but Memorial Day we'll be picking right back up. 20-mile-per-hour winds, may see some 30-mile-per-hour gust winds along with that. So if you're heading down to the coastline and you're putting up a umbrella, make sure it's strapped down because the winds will be picking up as we go through the afternoon time. Now, we are looking at some chance of rain here coming into Sunday as well as Monday, but Monday's looking like our greater chance as we start getting in through the weekend, but marginal risk is going to be north of us, slight risk there around Waco up towards Dallas, but can't leave us out of here for a stray shower or a thunderstorm, so we'll be taking a look at that right here. We'll start to see some cloud cover begin to build up. Little showers. These are actually going to be possibly some fog in the morning because there's going to be a lot of moisture there on the ground. So we'll start to see that pick up. But 5 p.m. Sunday, may see a little stray shower around the county. But Monday's where we're going to really start to see that line begin to move down. That frontal system starts to make its way down here by 8 a.m. It's hitting in the I-35 corridor between Austin and Dallas. Then by the afternoon time, we'll start to see a 20% chance of rain begin to pop up. Little isolated showers as the frontal system moves on through. By the afternoon time, we may see a stray shower or thunderstorm around the I-10 corridor for us. But rain chances are going to be lingering for this week. We'll continue talking about that as the day progresses. But 88 degrees if you're heading down to the beach, low humidity or low rip current. And for your Memorial Day, we'll be talking about 82 degrees, 91 by 12 p.m. and 20% chance of rain with some winds. Now, for Port Lavaca and your daily planner, we'll be talking about 90 degrees, southeasterly winds really picking up at about 17 miles per hour. As well as here in Victoria, start to see some clearing from that morning fog, sunny skies, may see a little stray shower with it as well as Cuero, a little bit of fog in the morning, 94 as our high. But those next 7 days, starting to see those rain chances really begin to increase. 40% there Wednesday is looking like our best time, but Monday night and Tuesday night, we got a 30 to 40% chance of rain. Now, don't forget to scan the QR code for more news, weather, and sports. Speaking of sports, here's Ray.
Thank you, Jacob. We're talking to a local football organization that's preparing to compete in a statewide 7-on-7 competition. Hear what the players have to say and more coming up in sports. So just like you heard from Coach Garcia in our 6 p.m. newscast as he talked about the preparation for the fall season in the process of practice, the Jaguars high school division is also preparing to compete in a statewide 7-on-7 competition next weekend. Here's an in-depth look into the team's dynamic. The Victoria Jaguars is a fairly new organization in the Crossroads, so the pressure on these young athletes to guide the younger ones is very much needed. These freshmen and sophomores have defined roles within the team and are just glad to be a part of the foundation that looks to impact the Crossroads for generations to come.
It's been pretty good lately. We've been getting a lot more notice, like on social media and stuff like that, and really being able to go out there and compete against all these teams that have big names, stuff like that, be able to put ourselves on the map.
I mean, it feels great, as a defensive captain, making sure the defense is solid, making sure we're all on point, got to do what we got to do.
Just my technique, my route running, just the fundamentals of the sport, of offense and defense, just getting better at my technique and routes.
The pressure is on these young athletes to perform on the big level, but organizations like the Jaguars are very much needed to prepare kids like this for the future, and that was evident in the team and the individuals' future goals.
Just to be able to compete and really put a name out there for not only our sub, but our school and our city.
The overall goal is just to go as far as we can go, state being the goal, and I just feel like what I've done out here is going to help me a lot with, I've learned a lot from this program. And
I plan to bring to the field is success. We really got to commit to the ball, commit to the football team, really balling out, doing what I do best, helping the team win, getting to hopefully going to state,
All right, good luck to the Jaguars. And the Texas Longhorns softball team have also been making headlines in the SEC as well. They've managed to make the most of their postseason, forcing a Game 3 in their series against Clemson for the Super Regionals. This was an uphill battle for the Longhorns as they were trailing the Tigers midway in the 5th inning. The comeback was kicked off by Katie Stewart on a base hit, to which she was able to find her way home later on. For the Longhorns to then take the lead, the same inning saw the Longhorns place another run in the 5th inning on the board and 2 more runs in the 10th inning, securing a Game 2 victory for the Longhorns. Final score, 7-5. We will have a Game 3. And the Astros are in the middle of their series against the Seattle Mariners. Today's Game 3 saw the Astros and Mariners both have a strong defensive to kick things off. Both pitchers having 5 strikeouts midway throughout the game. Seattle trailed the Astros after the first inning when Houston placed 2 runs early on. Those 2 runs was all the Astros needed to win that game. Final score, 2-1. And the Texas Rangers battled the Chicago White Sox, and this game saw some lead changes. The Rangers found themselves in the driver's seat to victory the majority of the game, but the White Sox was only able to make 1 run in the 4th inning. But White Sox player Joshua Palacios having a home run, which is what signaled a change in momentum, and that led them to victory. The Rangers went on to win that game. Final score, 10-5. The Rangers will continue their series tomorrow afternoon at 1:15 p.m. But that does it for your sports. Amaya and Trenton.
Thank you so much, Ray. Now coming up, scientists make a new discovery in the solar system. Details just ahead.
Researchers say they've discovered a new dwarf planet at the edge of our solar system. A team from the Institute for Advanced Studies School of Natural Sciences say the dwarf planet is one of the most distant visible objects in the solar system. The team named it 2017 OF201, and researchers say it is large enough to rival the size of Pluto. Wow. Scientists had previously thought no celestial bodies existed in an empty section of space beyond Neptune, but the discovery shows that a part of space is not empty after all.
A little science there.
Yeah, I know.
I wonder what role that played in the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
I wonder too, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Who's gonna run the church?
Keep it to Earth.
Speaking of other signs, we're going to be talking about some windy conditions here. Sunday is going into Monday as well. 94, 93 there for your Memorial Day. May see a 20% chance of rain here in the afternoon time there Memorial Day, but rain chances are going to be increasing as we go on through the week. So definitely something to look forward to, and we'll be out of the 90s.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Jacob, and thank you for joining us. We hope to see you back here Sunday for 25 News Now Weekends at 5:30. Good night.
Have a good night.